Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel. Today I'm talking about 1987's Moonstruck, directed by Norman Jewison. But before I dive into that, just want to say if you enjoy my content, please give this video a like, really helps out the channel. And we're nearing the end of the Summer of Nic Cage. I got about a week left of content to go through, but yeah, if you want to go ahead and subscribe for be notified of new content, go ahead and hit the button. And then if you actually want to go get a notification, hit the little bell in the corner. But Moonstruck, this is a film that I've always heard about. It's on like all the top movie lists. It's considered one of those movies you got to see before you die. AFI has it on their top 100 films. It's just always been considered this amazing classic, and for whatever reason, never got around to seeing it. But I was always familiar with the director, Norman Jewison. I'm familiar with him for Fiddler on the Roof and in the Heat of the Night, but I know he's done countless other movies as well. And then John Patrick Shanley, the screenwriter, he's probably most well known for this and for Doubt. I know him for films like Alive, Congo, and Joe versus the Volcano. But he's really talented screenwriter. He's actually just a really talented writer all around. He's mostly a playwright, and it's like whenever he stops writing screenplays, he goes back and starts writing plays, and vice versa. Really just all around talented guy. But this fucking movie, this film's fucking great. This film deserves all the praise that it's been getting for the past, what, came out in 87, so what is that, 33 years now? What is that it? Yeah, 33 years. Fucking deserves it. Film is absolutely amazing. It's so quaint. It's so small and simple. But basically, you've got Cher, she plays Loretta. You've got Danny Aiello, who is Johnny, and his brother is played by Nick Cage, Ronnie. You've got this love triangle that forms between these three. So basically, Johnny, he's this really just kind of timid man. He proposes to Cher. She is a 37-year-old widow. Her first husband basically, she waited for marriage, didn't marry young, found the perfect guy, married him. He wanted to have kids, she wanted to wait, and then he got hit by a bus and killed instantly. Now, she's dating Johnny. He's very timid, very unassuming, and he proposes to her, but he's just like sitting across from her at the table. He proposes to her. She's just like, what, you're not even gonna get down on one knee? So he does, and then just like, you don't have a ring? And he's just like, I got my pinky ring. Or she's just like, give me your pinky ring at least. And he's just like, but I like this ring. Like, that's Johnny. And then he asks, so he's going back to Italy to stay with his mother as she's dying. Basically, he asks her to contact his brother Ronnie, who hasn't seen in 5 years. They've got bad blood between one another. They're just not talking, and she agrees. She finds Ronnie. He refuses to come to the wedding, to even talk about anything. She goes down and meets him. He's a baker. He goes on this long story about why they're not cool anymore. Basically, he was dating this girl. Anthony came, asked him to make him some bread. He did, and he asked him something or had him look somewhere, and he put his hand into the slicer and chopped off like most of his fingers. His hand's all disfigured now, and he's wearing like this prosthetic hand. And he blames his brother for that, and then his fiancée broke up with him because he was disfigured now, and so he blames him for that as well. And he's telling this to Cher, and she's just like, well, it's not Anthony's fault. Like, it's your own damn fault for that. Like, the fuck? now will you come to the wedding? And she keeps trying to get him to come to the wedding, and something happens between them. Little spark happens, one thing leads to another, and they fall madly in love, but she's like, I can't do this, I'm with your brother. And love triangle ensues. You've also got her parents, who are having marital issues. Her dad, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he is, I know him as Mr. Mushnick from Little Shop of Horrors. He is not being with his wife that much. He is seeking extramarital affairs, and his wife doesn't have any proof, but she knows. And so there's and I should also mention, Cher still lives at home. So the house has many issues going on. It's just so interesting just spending time with this family, because it doesn't feel like the characters, there's no exposition moments, and when there is, it's all done so naturally. It's done to explain it to a different character who doesn't know, or something like that, and it all makes sense. It never feels just like, oh, well, let me explain my backstory to you. No, there's always context for it. There's reason why this person is doing this, and it's appropriate. It's usually done to relate, or to tell somebody, to inform somebody else what's going on in the situation that they walked into, or something like that. It's so good. You have all these little stories going around. They're all interweaving. They're all parallels to one another. They're all so interesting and so believably fleshed out. Never once did I see Cher or Nic Cage or Danny Aiello. I never saw the actors. I saw the characters. I saw these people that they became, and truly fantastic. This film, it is absolutely a love story, but the film is funny as hell as well. It's just this really sweet little story about this Italian-American family in New York. Yeah, I just was completely floored by how good this film was. I should mention, I do find it interesting that while there is a heavy focus on opera in this film, because Ronnie, he loves two things. He loves Cher, and he loves opera. And, or not Cher, Loretta. And they go to the opera, and it's this big, important moment in the story. But all the characters also kind of represent, much like in Inception, all the characters represent different people in a film. All the characters represent different people in a opera, and I'm not too familiar with an opera. I only stumbled on that little fact while I was doing my research, so I don't really want to talk about that too much, but I did find that kind of interesting. I also found it really interesting that Cher is the only reason that Nic Cage got the role. The studio wanted, I think it was Peter Gallagher for the role, and Cher wanted Nic Cage because no one does crazy like Nic Cage, and basically threatened to walk from the film if the studio didn't relent and cast Nic Cage. And also kind of found it funny that Cher was very unhappy with her performance in this film. She thought that she was giving a bad performance, and she ended up winning the fucking Oscar and a bunch of other awards. This film got like massive amounts of nominations, and I think it won 5 Oscars. She won her, I'm blanking on the actress's name, but the actress who plays her mom, who's really fucking good in this. She won director, screenplay, and I forget what the other one was, but just solid film all around. This is a film that I think, honestly, the biggest reason I held off on seeing this film was there's so many other films that I've seen that I know are some of the greatest or whatnot, and I see them and I'm just like, for their time, yeah, sure, but they don't really hold up, or they are really good still, but they don't hold up to that build-up. And or they were so influential that so many things, so many lesser things have pulled from them, that seeing after the fact, it dilutes the experience. Prime examples of that for me were The Godfather and Scarface. Both of those were really, really, really built up for me, and when I finally saw them, I was just like, But, you know, something like Goodfellas, which still was really, really built up, implemented so many unique things, and there were things in it that I did that were not implemented in other things, or that you can't convey those things. Those I was very, very surprised on, and which is the experience I had with Godfather Part 2. Absolutely floored me, because nobody pulls from Godfather 2. Everybody pulls from the original Godfather. And so yeah, off that little tangent. But yeah, this film, absolutely fucking amazing film. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. Fucking phenomenal film. I really have zero issues with it. Everybody gives an A fucking performance. The writing is on point. The directing's on point. The world feels fleshed out. It feels like this is a little snippet of life in New York. And yeah, just fucking great movie. Highly, highly recommended if you have not seen it. If you have seen it, please let me know what you thought of this movie. What was your favorite part of this movie? My favorite part is, it's got to be the fucking scene where he's going on the long story about his hand. I find that fucking hilarious. Because watching the scene, I'm just like, how is this Anthony's problem? Like, how is this Anthony's fault? Like, I get Anthony's, like, I figured that Anthony was a dope or something like that, and how the fuck is this his fault the whole fucking time? And then Cher just bluntly is just like, well, how is that his fault? And it was just, I love that scene. And Nick Cage goes full crazy in that scene too. He's, yeah, really, really good. But that's going to wrap this up. I've got a review coming out for Dog Eat Dog next, which is a Paul Schrader film. Pretty excited to talk about that one. And then got only a few more reviews left in the Summer of Nic Cage, so pretty excited to bring this all to a close as well. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Hope you stay safe.